But Terry had just had a birthday party this past week, and we were invited, and so we went to their birthday party. And we were talking, and Terry and Johnny and I were sitting and talking, and I told him, I said, you know, it's funny because I know that a lot of people have said, the rumor went around that Lisa and I wooed Terry and Corey over to the church. That like there was some wooing process where we were going, come on, come on. But it wasn't the case. It was a situation in which they were looking for a church. And it seemed like every single time we went somewhere, we would bump into them. We would go to Lowe's. And it just so happens at the same exact time that we were at Lowe's, we turned the corner, and lo and behold, there's Terry and Corey. And a lot of people would have said, oh my goodness, what a coincidence. But it wasn't coincidence, because there is no such thing as coincidence. Amen. And so we kept bumping into Terry and Corey in some of the most odd places. I mean, for crying out loud, they have a Home Depot in Blairsville. And they were in the Lowe's at Murphy. I mean, how many people would even go there? And I'm not saying that that's odd. I'm just saying that the situation was not a coincidence. And then we were talking about this, and I said, the funny thing is, now, we haven't done that in forever. We haven't been, like, since that time when we just kept bumping into them in different places. We haven't changed what we do. They haven't changed what they've done. But it seems like we've stopped bumping into each other at various places. And why? Because God had ordered those situations and those times. Times when we needed to see their face. Times when they needed to see our face. And it seems like that works out so many times. I can't tell you how many times that I go around visiting and all of a sudden I go, you know what? I feel like I need to go visit this person. And I go visit them and I walk in and they're like, oh my goodness. This is the best possible time you could have come. They're like, we were just praying about something and you showed up. And it's not because I'm Big Brother with videos all over everywhere, tracking everybody's thoughts and everything. It is honestly because the scriptures say the steps of a righteous man are ordered of God. Amen. We all have been in situations where God just moved things around and put us in a specific place for a specific time and for a specific reason. Many times, though, we don't understand that reason. This past week, I was headed off to the seminary, and it takes me an hour and a half. And I leave 2 hours before I have to get there, because I am the kind of person that I'm telling you what, if I'm 5 minutes late, then I will kick myself like crazy. I'm upset at myself. I'm going, I can't believe I'm late. You know, yada, yada, yada. I just go on, and I beat myself up about it because I am of the mind that if you're not 10 minutes early, you're 10 minutes late. Get there early and leave out early so that if anything happens, you can still get there on time. And so I always do that. And I always get there early, and I'm always seated in my seat, getting ready for everything. And people run in last minute, and I kind of go, what are they doing? They're late. Don't they know the disrespect they're showing? Don't they know, you know? And so I always do that. But last Tuesday, I was getting ready to go to class, and I went, you know what? It's cold out. I'm going to grab my sweater. And I hunted and hunted and hunted for that sweater, and I could not find it anywhere. I looked all over the place and I could not find that sweater. So I said, David, because I talked to myself in the third person, I said, David, you need to go and pick up a sweater because it is cold outside. And so I said, I will leave early. And so instead of leaving 2 hours early, I left 3 hours early. And I thought, I'll go and I'll go to Walmart, I'll pick up a sweater and I'll get down to school. And I go on down and I'm like, man, I'm going to be early. This is so great. And then I get to the Ocoee Road and there they are, blocked off. The road is closed, huge rock slide. I told the guy, I said, is there any possible way I'm getting to Cleveland today? He said, no. I said, are you serious? There's no other road to Cleveland? And he goes, well, you can backtrack to 68 and take it up north. By this time, I'm frantic and on the phone with Lisa. Lisa pulled up MapQuest. This guy said 68, but I don't know where else to go from there. I ended up 15 minutes late to school, and I was sitting there going, you know what? If I would have left at my normal time, I would have been a lot later. But for some reason, I felt the need to leave an hour early to pick up a sweater. I know it don't make sense. It does not make sense. But God puts us in situations. He orders our steps, and He provides for us. I want to share this one last thing before we get into the Word. Because one day in driving, there's this nice little hill that just drops off. And I kind of like it because it has that drop and that dip at the bottom, so it takes your stomach just for an instant. I don't like those ones that takes them and does not give it back. I want my stomach back quickly. And so it just kind of takes your stomach for a second and you go, ooh, adrenaline a little bit. And so I always, like taking that hill. And I've traveled that hill like several times. And one day, driving through there, a thought went into my head. Watch this road on the side, because sure as anything, somebody's going to run that stop sign. And without even fully comprehending what I was doing, I took my foot off of the gas, put it on the brake, and started to slow down. And lo and behold, somebody flew through that stop sign, and I almost hit them. And I went, thank you, God, because I could not have known that, and I have never done that going through that little road.
Amen.
Not once, but God ordered the steps. When we look at Esther, we see that she was in a huge situation. In fact, this whole book is very interesting. Because when you look at Esther, she was in a bad situation to begin with. Israel was not in Israel anymore. They had defied God for the last time, and God sent an army in there to take them captive. And so here they are, they're strangers in a strange land, under a king they do not know, with a religion and a language they do not know. And here's Esther. When you read the beginning of the book, you see that the king had a queen. The queen defied the king. And so the king killed the queen. I think that they put that in there to show that the king wasn't just some nice guy that was willing to go along with anything. He was a firm man that had firm beliefs. And when the queen defied him, he destroyed her. And so the king goes around and he goes, you know what? I need a new queen. I was reading this to Lisa the other day. I said, Lisa, this sounds kind of cool. Because of this. Because then the king had them set up his concubines.